Well, hello, and thank you for joining us once again at the ASCA Living Your Best Online Life Conference. I'm joined today by Ron Eo. He is the Head of Curriculum, Management and Training at Acronis. Welcome, and thank you so much for being one of our major sponsors and for helping us bring this conference to life so that we can help everyone live their best online lives.
Thank you, Alex. Pleasure to be here.
Now, Ron, for those who don't know about Acronis, can you please sort of tell us how it started and how it's evolved over the past couple of decades?
So, Acronis is a leader in cyber protection, and we provide integrated backup, security, disaster recovery, enterprise file sync and share solutions to address the five vectors of what we call cyber protection, namely accessibility, safety, privacy, authenticity, and security. And our goal is to protect all data in any environments, okay, including physical, virtual, cloud, mobile workloads, and application. So a little bit more about Acronis. It's actually founded in Singapore in 2003. We have our corporate headquarters in Singapore as well as Schaffhausen, Switzerland. We employ about 1,500 employees in 18 countries worldwide. And we are used by 5.5 million home users and about half a million companies, including 100% of the Fortune 1000 top tier professional teams, which we sponsor and partner with. And our products is also available in more than 40 languages.
Well, that's a very wide portfolio. Now, as you were sort of just explaining, Acronis has products and services for consumers and businesses of all sizes, but we'd like to focus on your new cyber protection software for consumers, which is called Acronis True Image 2021. Now, this year, True Image has gained a stack of new capabilities, including cyber protection, antivirus and malware, and anti-ransomware. So can you please sort of take us through those a little bit in more detail?
So our latest Acronis True Image 2021, it unifies a backup and antivirus in one single solution. And the key thing here is actually integration. It helps protect everything important, your devices, personal files, laptop systems. And on top of that, it stops modern threats like ransomware and cyber attacks, right? So in Acronis True Image 2021, we have real-time protection that's driven by AI-enhanced behavioral heuristics, which is meant to stop all malware, including 0 days, which is the one big threat that faces not just businesses and enterprises, but specifically home users as well. There is on-demand virus scans that allows you to do full system scans or quick scans of your systems. You can also filter dangerous websites. This is especially important because one of the easiest way for users to get hit by malware, by ransomware, is accidentally clicking on a link in a phishing email. And today's phishing email are very sophisticated. They look very professional. None of that lousy grammar that you see previously, right? So having this web filtering capability is extremely important, and it's going to help provide an additional layer of protection for our users of Acronis True Image 2021. There is also a protection for video conferencing applications because due to the current pandemic that's going on, we have a lot of people working from home. So one of the things that we have included in response to the current situation is protection for popular video conferencing apps such as Zoom, WebEx, to prevent these applications from being hijacked or being hit by malware.
And the software works on PCs and Macs. You can back up your iPads and Androids.
Yes,
and,
exactly.
And it's almost, I mean, you should look at the settings and make sure it's correct, but you can set it and forget it. It'll back up to a hard disk, back up to the cloud, automatically update, and it's protecting you. And even if you do open some ransomware, it'll shut it down. And if the ransomware has managed to encrypt any files, the backup will automatically put the correct files back and you're protected.
Correct. That's one of the greatest thing about Acronis 2021, which is that if unfortunately a user is actually hit by ransomware, the software is actually able to automatically stop the ransomware and give you your files back.
Yeah, because it notices
So
that
that
something
is
is. It notices that there's some weird encryption going on, and it stops it,
yes,
and then it reverses everything, and that's something that is pretty unique to Acronis.
yes, exactly.
Now, if I just scroll down here, so I guess the next question is, what are your best tips for living your best online life?
So with so much of our lives online today, I think one of the key things is how to protect our digital workloads. And digital workloads is becoming critical and more complex. In fact, we probably couldn't live today without them. It's becoming a basic human need, just like food, water, and shelter. So my tips to anybody is would be that to educate yourself on available security features. Basically, be aware of what are the security features that's built into the applications or the services that you're using. On top of that, it is a must actually to use security and cyber protection software. Well, a good example would be Acronis 2021. And besides that, keeping your softwares and your systems updated. Um, Today, it's no longer a matter of, oh, I have a ransomware, I have antivirus, or I have uh, I'm using a particular software. It is much more important to keep it updated because updates will patch against vulnerabilities that attackers would actually be using to get into your system. And another very common, and I can't stress this enough, would be do not reuse passwords ever. And make sure your passwords, if you have any, are of a sufficient length. Today, the recommended length would be at least 12 characters long. And in fact, try to use passphrases. Like if you have a favorite a phrase that you like a lot, use that. Or better still, use a password manager to help you remember, password across all the sites and all the applications that you're using. And lastly, always be very skeptical of any email that you come across in your mailbox. One habit that I have that I recommend to everyone would be to always look at the sender, look at the domain name, right? What comes after the @ sign? Does it seems to be from whoever is sending the email? That would usually give you at least a good idea of whether it's legitimate or not. But always be skeptical. Do not click on links or open files blindly.
Yeah, I mean, just before we did this interview, I got a phone call from somebody wanting to talk to me about my internet service. And it's like, look, I'm very happy with my internet service. Please delete my number from your system. And then I go in there and block. And also, I think it dropped out a little bit there before. What you were saying was don't reuse passwords. I mean, I know people that use the same password for everything, and it's so important to have a password manager and to make sure your phones are up to date and
Yes.
all your apps. And I see people that are still running older versions of iOS on their phones or Android, and it's you've got to update, and also
Yes.
if you update, have a backup, and of course, Acronis True Image 2021 can certainly help with that. And one of the other things that it can do as well is restore your Windows backup to a brand new Windows computer, even if it's of a different brand, which is something I think Acronis pioneered some years ago.
Yeah, pretty much. So we have this feature known as Universal Restore, which you can take a backup pretty much from any laptop, any system, and recover it onto any other system. And it will just work upon recovery. You can pretty much, not have to worry about, do I have to reinstall all my programs, all my favorite applications? With Acronis Universal Restore that's built into Acronis True Image 2021, you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, and I mean, I know from backing up and restoring from Mac to Mac has always been very easy, but on a PC that was pretty much impossible. So you've enabled
Yes.
that. Now we're running short on time, but you've got a special program for seniors that you're going to be trialing first in Singapore and then expanding around the world. So what's the short version of what you're going to be doing there?
So very quickly, our Acronis Cyber Foundation, which is uh, trying to help less privileged people worldwide, is partnering with the Infocom Media Development Authority in Singapore. Mm-hmm. And starting in January 2021, we will be trying to bring basic digital skills to seniors in Singapore to help them basically be able to participate more in an increasingly digital society. And this will be done through interactive sessions where there will be an instructor that will talk about different topics. And the hope is that eventually we will progress sufficiently with certain groups of seniors that we will be able to teach them, in fact, to be able to code and create their own applications.
Well, I can imagine that they would have fun creating apps for their grandchildren or for other seniors and just enjoying and having a lot of fun. Well, look, Ron, thank you so much for being a sponsor of the ASCA Living Your Best Online Life Conference for 2020. I really appreciate everything you've been able to help us with. And, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the conference, everybody.
Alex, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.